Welcome to today's tutorial on dubstep production. Typically a tempo of 140 beats per minute is selected. First, we begin with a simple kick and snare pattern, like so. Next it's time to add some hi-hats and cymbals to fill those spaces. Add some modulated bass lines, and be sure to make them heavy. Why not try adding a synth lead in a higher register? Perhaps some sound effects or pads. And now you are ready for the most important part of any filthy dubstep anyway. The drop.
For extra brutality, try adding a beatdown section.
Dream Dream. Not bad.
Do you share common ground with the understanding that something in this world is just not right? Has your life become a journey of experiences, leaving you questioning reality? Well, you're not alone. At AXIOM Curb Community, we share your thoughts and feelings. Joining our cause could be the next door to be open to you. Visit AXIOM Curb to be part of the people's work in seeking truth control. Or go to axiomcurb.org. Your silence is someone's suffering. Together, the truth can be taught.
AXIOMcurb.org.
And it is Sunday the 27th of July 2014. Welcome to the show, Axiom Curb Radio. You're listening to PJ, and of course I've got the usual Bok with me from Canada. We'll be speaking to him very shortly. This week's show is the part 2 of the 7 Toxins Consumed Daily, and we've named this show the 7 Superfoods.
Yeah, once again, thanks PJ. Thanks to our listeners. And today we're going to go over 7 superfoods. And we're going to talk about how these superfoods can give us super vitamins and super elements and super minerals, and and this will equal super health. So that's generally what we're here to talk about in this show, because last show we talked about some of the harmful foods, and this show we're going to concentrate on a few of the super beneficial foods.
Yes, indeed, Bok. I'm sure the listeners have been waiting a fair few weeks for the show. We was meant to do this last week, but we had a little change in schedule, so we will be bringing you the show as promised today. So Bok, what have you got for us tonight? Tell us a bit about these 7 superfoods.
Now, these aren't all of them by no means, and they're all very important, but these are just 7 superfoods that I think that we should talk about right away, and we can go into the other ones later.
Yeah, sure. It sounds some exciting stuff. So, lead the show, Bok. It's all yours.
I'd like to start off with berries. We hear a lot about antioxidants, vitamin C, and all these things to keep us, healthy and happy these days. And there's a lot of buzz going around with this antioxidant word. Well, it's true. Berries contain more antioxidants than generally than your other foods do. And we've heard a lot about, in recent years, about blackberries and blueberries, because they tend to contain even higher levels of antioxidants than just your regular other types of berries and fruits. So I think it's generally, the dark berries, the dark black and the dark purples, and the reds. The reds are very important. These colors are special because they contain special minerals and elements. And to top it off, they have lots of antioxidants and natural sugars and vitamin C and all these amazing beneficial things. So the berry I want to discuss today is the goji berry. Now, this berry has the highest levels of antioxidants amongst any of them. It really is a superfood. And not only is it just packed full of antioxidants, it's got vitamin C, it contains protein. Yeah, it contains protein. This is one of the few fruits that actually contains protein. The same protein that we eat meat to acquire. Well, this berry contains these proteins. And, they're stored in the polysaccharides, which are the special natural sugars that the plant and the berry, makes on its own. And it's an excellent blend of carbohydrates and proteins, and your sugars and your polysaccharides, your antioxidants and your vitamin C. So these are just, a few things that I'm touching upon about the goji berry. I'm sure there's lots of other, beneficial attributes to this particular berry, but those are the main ones, because in today's days, our main problems are with proteins, carbs, and sugars. And here you have the perfect berry. Nature has provided you the perfect plant, the perfect fruit, and it is truly the perfect balance of all of them. It really is a superfood. In fact, I would put it even above superfood. Let's just call it angelic food. I have no other way of describing it. It's really amazing. And it's been used in traditional Chinese medicine for at least 2,000 years. It's been in the tops of Chinese medicine, once again, for at least 2,000 years. So that goes to show you something. So this is a really great berry. And it's got the most special adaptogen properties. This is another word you might hear about these days. They're called adaptogens. And what that basically means is, especially when it comes with the goji berry, this plant can survive in the Arizona desert, in the Mongolian desert, and it can survive in the Himalayan high altitude regions of like Tibet and China and parts of India. So and David Wolfe, the nutritionalist and famous person regarding his line of products with noni juice and stuff like that, he actually has grown some in Hawaii, and he says they do very well there. He says, as a matter of fact, he brought one here to Canada, and the goji berry survived, a mid-Ontario, which is halfway up Ontario, not the northern part of Ontario, but halfway up Ontario, where it still does get very cold, minus 30 to 40, and the goji berry plant survived. So it can survive in some extreme cold temperatures, and it can survive in some extreme hot, arid, dry conditions, and it can also survive in tropical conditions. It's truly the most amazing adaptogen plant probably on the earth as far as we know so far. So that's some information on the goji berry.
Yeah, well, the goji berry, I wasn't familiar with that name. However, I have come across it in another form. It's also known as red medlar. And you can put it in hot water, you drink it like tea, it's really good for you. And I never really knew that that's what it was. until speaking to you, Bok, and you told me exactly what it was, and I'm looking forward to getting a few seeds from yourself, and getting a few goji berry bushes on the go for next year, if not this year. But it's definitely something I'm looking into, which is great information there.
Yeah, so now we'll discuss the medicinal mushrooms. Now, medicinal mushrooms have also been used in traditional Chinese medicine for thousands of years. And we've just started to really understand, because we've put them through the test in our modern laboratories and analysis machines, and we're actually finding out why these things are so amazing, and that's why I want to include them today in part of our superfood discussion, because it is a food, and it's a super potent medicinal food. And the mushrooms that I'm talking about in particular is the reishi mushroom. And this is a very powerful mushroom, medicinally powerful mushroom it rejuvenates your immune system. And it's a very subtle energy, and it's not there's no side effects whatsoever, is what that means. So right there, that tells you that, okay, this is something very good. There's no side effects. And it's a type of a mushroom that grows on trees.
All right, I'm not sure I've heard of that one before, Bok. So what exactly, what is this mushroom? And, what does it do? What's it capable of?
What it does is it'll draw the minerals and nutrients and, the elements from the tree. As the tree is dying, or it has died, it'll pull out the remainder of those nutrients, and it'll concentrate it into this flowering body, which we call the reishi mushroom, because that's just the fruit of the actual mushroom is what we see. When most people look at a mushroom on the ground or on a tree, that's just actually the fruiting body. The whole its main body is underneath the soil, and it's in the tree, and wherever this particular its mycelial network is growing. So yeah, the mushroom is just the fruit of the body. So that's one way to look at it.
Yeah, well, that's very interesting. I always like going out looking at stuff like, fungi and mushrooms and watching how they grow, certain things like that. So what other beneficial properties does it contain? What's it good for the human body?
And it also contains, polysaccharides and other things. It's almost a complete, balanced meal all on its own. But, not completely, but its main use is for, to rejuvenate your immune system, and amongst other benefits that I've heard and read about are that it helps people with their temperament, their mood, and their sleep. Their dreams are supposedly more vivid and stuff. You see, I don't get a lot of dreams, so I can't speak for that one. But this is from feedback from people who use it, and here I would like to play you, because I can't talk about all the medicinal mushrooms, but David Wolf here, I'm going to play you his a YouTube video, and so you can hear just the audio, and it's some really good information on medicinal mushrooms, and it's going to be about 6 minutes long.
Alright, yeah, cool. So, for the listeners tuned in tonight on Axiom Curb Radio, I'm joined with Bok. If you've just tuned in and you're late arriving, you've not really missed too much. You will be able to listen back on Curbcast within the next few days. So Bok is going to be playing an audio clip called, it's from a guy called David Wolf, and he's a nutritionalist and a naturalist, so he knows his stuff.
Okay, so we're back with David Wolf on medicinal mushrooms.
Are there foods and herbs that we can take that actually make us look better and feel better and have more radiance and aura? And the answer is, you better believe it, absolutely. This kingdom of herbs is what we call the medicinal mushrooms, and what they do is they go to work on rejuvenating our immunity. They also, on a derivative side effect, they affect our blood, so they help with our heart, they affect our liver and kidneys, they affect our skin, and they affect our joints. The immune system, however, is where the action is. And what they contain is they concentrate elements that were once in a tree. These medicinal mushrooms are actually mushrooms that grow on trees. So they're not the kind that you see coming out of the ground. They're the kind that are coming out of the bark of a dead tree. Like if you go for a walk in the forest, and in fact I invite you to do that today if you get a chance. Just look at the trees and you'll start to notice that there's some of them that have died and they have these mushrooms coming out of them. Well, what's going on with those mushrooms? Well, those mushrooms are concentrating all of the unique elements that that tree has absorbed in its lifetime, which may have been 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years. And our old belief that, oh, the mushroom is just concentrating hydrogen and carbon that's in that tree has now been replaced by the understanding that there are these high spin elements that are in the tree that the mushroom concentrates. It wraps it around its spore in the fruiting body, the part that comes out of the tree. And if we break that piece off and we make a tea out of it, we can get access to this. Now that's a lot of work for anybody who's new to this. So here's what's happened for you, and hopefully if you've known about this, you've been accessing it already. But if you've not known about this, please start today to look at these in your local health food store. These tree mushrooms have already been techno-processed for us into powders and encapsulated in vegetarian capsules and are now available in health food stores in abundance. In fact, once you turn onto it, you're going to realize how fortunate we are in today's day to have access to the greatest tree mushrooms in the world, the greatest medicinal mushrooms in the world, right in our local health food store. So let's talk about what they are and what to look for. Definitely we want to look for at least 5 in any given formula. Those 5 would include, number 1, reishi mushroom. Time-tested, time-proven over 3 to 4 to 5,000 years in Chinese medicine. Reishi, reishi mushroom. Maitake, Maitake, known as the hen of the woods. This is a beautiful mushroom that grows off of trees. It's been techno-processed for us now. It's in health food stores. So you'll find these herbal supplements with reishi and maitake. Here's another one, shiitake. This is a great culinary mushroom. You may have had it before in a culinary context. Maybe you went to a great restaurant. They served you shiitake mushrooms. Great for your immune system. They grow out of trees, but they're relatively soft. So if you found a tree with this growing on it, you could actually break it off and eat it, and it's really good. A great source of protein, by the way. When we're dealing with reishi, with maitake, with shiitake, we're talking about great sources of protein. Here's another one. This has been concentrated into various different types of super immune system weapons, and that is a mushroom called the cloud mushroom, or Coriolus, 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 the cloud mushroom. Coriolus PSP and Coriolus PSK are concentrates of a certain group of polysaccharides that are present in those mushrooms. And those polysaccharides are specifically where the real high immune system factors are found in these mushrooms. So again, we're going to go back to the beginning. Reishi, maitake, shiitake, Coriolus. Here's another really important one, a very valuable one. Agaricus, 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 a great mushroom that is very high in what we call beta-glucans. If you've been studying the health sciences for any period of time, there's this relationship between beta-glucans and the quality and beauty of our hair. There's a relationship between beta-glucans and the quality and beauty of our skin. In particular, however, it's working on our immune system. Beta-1,3 glucans, beta-1,4 glucans, beta-1,6 glucans are found in that mushroom. We've given you 5 mushrooms right now. All you have to do is start right there, very basic. You go to the health food store, you pick those mushrooms up, and you start taking them 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 capsules a day with water, preferably on an empty stomach. Doesn't have to be. And what you're going to see is, over a period of a few months, suddenly your immunity is going to change. You'll notice that your neurological chemistry improves as well, because when we're dealing with great sources of protein, which these mushrooms are, they're often better sources of protein than the chicken, than the beef, than the turkey, than the bologna. They are better sources of protein than that because they're actually working directly on our nervous system immediately. One of the unspoken truths about protein is that it helps us with neurological health, with nervous system health. And so you might find your memory's a little sharper. People ask me all the time, how do I improve my memory? Well, it's a complex job. One of the most important things is we got to get our immune system up and get the right protein in, just to dredge out and normalize our nervous system so that we can think clearly and accurately. There's other aspects to memory which we're going to get into in deeper research that's going to come down the pipe with the Longevity Now program and subsequent online information and audio information.
Yeah, so thanks to David Wolf. There's some great information, and I encourage all of you guys and listeners to who have access to the internet, to go search David Wolf, and David spelled David, Wolf spelled W-O-L-F-E, and he's got tons and tons of information on the internet, on web pages, and on YouTube. He's got his own line. He sells natural organic products of all sorts. He's a true alchemist, and he's very good at what he does. And he's got some great information, as such you just heard. So that covers mushrooms for today. And we'll move on to the next one.
Yeah, Bok, thank you for that. Once again, that was David Wolf speaking about a certain medicinal mushrooms. A lot of people, Bok, I don't know what it's like in Canada, but where I'm from in UK, a lot of people have this idea that mushrooms don't provide them with anything. They seem to think that they're not really worth eating. But, as the audio clip you've just produced there has a clear indication of, the opposite to that. And looking into researching mushrooms is, I think, the key for certain things. So thank you very much for that. We'll move on to the next one.
Okay, so next, I'd like to talk about some stuff that we most often have in our homes, and that's just garlic and ginger. And, those can be used on a daily basis. And those have, really, really super benefits, medicinal benefits as well. And this is David Wolf's quote, and he says, "Treat your food like your medicine and treat your medicine like your food." I'm not sure if that's his original quote or not, but I'm just quoting David Wolf there. And I think that's a great way to look at your food. So, every time you're cooking and you want to, think of your food as medicine. So, make sure you include garlic and ginger and stuff like that, because it really is good for your immune system, and they have benefits. Like, I know ginger is good for your stomach, and there's many, many benefits. And some say, garlic can even cure cancer. And so I don't want to get into all that, but I'm just saying, let's not forget about those. Those are some common things that we can pick up, and I encourage you to use them. And next, I would like to talk about cilantro. Cilantro is related to parsley. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's from the same family, but cilantro is kind of different, and it's renowned for its for its detox capabilities. If you're looking to get rid of toxins in your body, whether you've from your work environment to heavy metals or arsenic, or just from other toxins, such as the toxins that we come across in our food and water sometimes. Cilantro is very healthy, and it's an excellent herb to help drive out toxins that have been stored in your body, because it's one of the few things in nature that actually breaks down these toxins in your body. You see, most of us, we're just storing these toxins, storing them, and we're not breaking them down at the rate necessary to, maintain a proper healthy lifestyle. Especially over here in the Western world, our health has become an epidemic over here, and cilantro is an excellent way of breaking down these toxins. You first need to take something to break these toxins down, and then you need to take something to flush those toxins out, and then of course you need to keep your body sustained with proper minerals and nutrients and vitamins and all that. So it's a whole balance thing, but once you have it figured out, once you're on the right path, you can only get better and better at it. So don't get discouraged with too much information. It's okay. Just it's one step at a time, and you'll get there, and you'll start to really benefit from it, and you'll definitely have no regrets. And the other one is tamarind. Tamarind is popular in East Indian culture, where it's often used in chutneys, and it's a kind of a sweeter, spice kind of thing. And it's along with cilantro, tamarind is also an excellent natural product to use for breaking down toxins in your body. So cilantro and tamarind are often used together as this, super herbal remedy. So I categorize those two together here, for removing toxins. So think cilantro and tamarind. And tamarind you can pick up in any East Asian grocery store, just about. A lot of the Chinese markets will have it as well. So look into that one. And it's actually very tasty. It's a great dipping sauce for all kinds of things. So check that one out. Yeah, so as we were talking about garlic and ginger, I like to use those hand in hand. Cilantro and tamarind, use those hand in hand. And the next one I want to move on to is turmeric. Turmeric also comes from Eastern Southern Asia, from India, China area, and it's a root. It's related to the ginger and ginseng family, and it has very special properties. It is the best anti-inflammatory food that you can take internally. It is regarded as the best natural way of relieving inflammation in people's bodies. And people who have inflammation are well aware of when I talk about anti-inflammatory properties. So turmeric is one of the best, if not the best product from nature, 100% natural, that has anti-inflammatory properties. It's a orangey yellow colored root. And once again, you can find it in most Southeast Asian grocery stores. India, China, it's well used. And it also comes in a pre-dried powder form, which is very convenient for cooking. In fact, it often gives its color to the yellow curries that people make from those regions of the world. And turmeric is the herb, the root that's used. And along with being the best anti-inflammatory edible product, it is also a very good anti-infectant and antiviral properties, where if you have an external cut, you can actually apply a mixture of the turmeric powder and water, and you just rub it on your wound, and it'll disinfect it. And it also has these Same similar properties for when taken internally. It'll cure some ailments of your stomach. For example, if you have like a kind of a type of a bacteria in your stomach, or some people might have an infection in their stomach, and this helps with relieving and the symptoms, and as well as getting rid of the infections in your stomach. So this has powerful medicinal uses internally as well as externally, and it's best known for its, besides its delicious curry taste, is its anti-inflammatory properties.
Yes, well, I can vouch for that one, Bock. The minute you told me, I was currently at my mum's at the time, and she was suffering from food poisoning from eating mussels. And she was in serious agony at the time. She was on the toilet. She was in the bathroom for well over an hour while I was there. And, as soon as you gave me that advice, I quickly made up a little mix with some cold water and warm water, a bit of turmeric, some ginger in that, and a dash of honey. Told her to drink that. She drank it. I think within 5-10 minutes of drinking that, all the pain, she said, had gone. And believe me, food poisoning from mussels is, it's not a pleasant thing. Anyway, moving on from that, you was telling me about another superfood there, Bock, from the coconut tree. Is it something in the root or in the middle of it? I'm not too sure now. Wasn't familiar of that before. It sounded very interesting, so why don't you go ahead and explain to the listeners all about the coconut tree.
And lastly, here I'd like to talk about the coconut tree, coconut water, and this is just it really is. It's a super food, and this is something that can replace our dependency upon dairy products, especially for those people who wish to break away from dairy-based products and who have gluten allergies. So they can fully relate to what I have to say regarding the coconut. It really is one of nature's, blessings upon us, that it provides us so many amazing things. Like we have coconut butter, coconut oil, and we make so many lovely, tasty desserts from coconut. It's a good source of natural sugars, and it's also got other benefits of, it has protein, it has some other things, and like I said, if you want to break away from, like I personally love coconut milk. I have stopped drinking dairy milk entirely, and so every time I have cereal or I need a bit of milk for something, I use coconut milk. If that's not available, I get almond milk, or sometimes I have both in my fridge because they both are slightly different. Coconut milk is a bit more runnier. It's more like water, and the vanilla milk is a bit thicker, so it's kind of like your cream. So if you need cream in your tea or whatnot, you probably want to use the vanilla milk versus the coconut milk. Unless, of course, you have a particular taste, and everybody has their own preferences, and that's great. So, I want to just bring your attention to, the amazing coconut tree. And not only that, its husk is a very good use for a lot of gardening, purposes. Like its husk is a good form of mulch, and it retains water in your soil. Yeah, so it's good that way as well. And there's another thing called, I believe they call it the coconut heart, and I'll have to find some more information on this for you. And it comes from the base of the coconut tree, and just above the ground, the base of the coconut tree, and underneath the particular layers of bark is this very similar to the flesh of the coconut itself, is a white heart-shaped material, and that is referred to as the coconut heart. And once again, David Wolf, thanks to David Wolf, he says that this is regarded as a very good source of natural calcium. And it's very good for, bone building material for people who have, weak bones or arthritis type illnesses. So this might be something to consider and look into. And I hope to get some more information on this for you for the next shows as well, because I have just recently caught on to this as well. And so there are, 7 superfoods that there were more than 7, but like I said, I tried to group some of them together because it makes it handy that way. It's kind of like you want cream in your tea, and that's you need that balance there. So this is a natural balance. Garlic, ginger, cilantro, tamarind, and you'll end up making your own balances too as you learn to cook more with these. So I think that's about it for today's show. And I would like to leave this show with one last bit from, this is from David Wolf, and he's going to talk about turmeric.
Yeah, cool, alright. So, Boc's going to be leaving us now with a audio clip, once again from David Wolf. He's going to be talking about turmeric. I think Boc's got a little bit more of an intro for that before he does play it, but I just wanted to thank all the listeners on behalf of Axiom Curb Radio for tuning in as you do on a weekly basis. Would like to make an announcement. From now on we will be doing our separate shows. Boc's going to climb the ladder and hold the reins for the future shows on his own. Also with that, we will have new guests during the week, also joining Axiom Curb Radio, a mixture of music shows, some talk shows, some more information shows, variety of many other shows. So if something you feel you could get involved in, you can do that. Contact us, axiomcurb@live.com, or you can go to the website axiomcurb.org and click on the help button on the far right side of the menu, and on there you will see a link for volunteer. Fill in the short form and somebody from the Axiom Curb community will sure to get back to you as soon as possible. So once again, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you again, Boc, for joining us, and I will be back next week. So from now on, take care and enjoy the final piece.
Yeah, once again, I'd like to thank all our listeners for joining us and listening in. Thanks, PJ, for hosting the show. And I'm going to leave the show off here. We're just going to talk about turmeric a little more. And this is going to be a clip from Dr. Oz, from his Dr. Oz show. And this is a clip off YouTube. And besides fighting inflammation and cancer, turmeric has also been shown to inhibit various forms of dementia, including Alzheimer's. And that is from the description of this video. And now I'm going to play you the video, and we'll talk to you guys, or we'll be back with the next show soon.
There's a country on this planet where very few people have Alzheimer's disease. And we believe it's because of what they eat. This is the brain-boosting spice that can help you stay sharp. It's called turmeric. In India, over 1 billion eat this every day. It's a standard ingredient in curry powders and mustards and gives a brilliant yellow color to whatever it's cooked with. Turmeric helps your brain clear out the gunky proteins that can build up and might lead to Alzheimer's. It also contains a chemical called curcumin, which researchers think help your brain develop nerves that help us learn, so you can lose a few from Alzheimer's and still remain sharp. It's no wonder turmeric has actually been called the spice of life since ancient times.
Alright guys, that's all we've got for this week. We will be leaving you now with a 31-minute video clip from David Wolf. It's the superfoods, the food and medicines of the future. So do stick around and enjoy listening to the latter part of this show. We will say goodbyes and we will catch you next week. So do tune back on AXIOM Curb Radio next week.
Do you share common ground with the understanding that something in this world is just not right? Has your life become a journey of experiences, leaving you questioning reality? Well, you're not alone. At Axiom Curb Community, we share your thoughts and feelings. Joining our cause could be the next door to be open to you. Visit Axiom Curb to be part of the people's work in seeking truth control. Or go to axiomcurb.org. Your silence is someone's suffering. Together, the truth can be taught.
Acai, acerola, cherry, amla, alfalfa, and aloe vera, ashwagandha root, and asparagus too, astragalus, ayahuasca, bee pollen, blueberry, Brazil leopard, cacao, coca with spines, cameberry berries, cascabel, chocolate pedro, chilies of many kinds, chlorella, chia, cinnamon, sustain, propolis, phalaenopsis, coconut water, and meat, velostrin, deer, daniela, algae. Romeo bark, fulvic acid, and ferments like ciders, kefir, sauerkrauts, goji berry grasses in the wild ginkgo, ginseng, goji polo, grain stem leaf, pusher root, hemp seeds, horsetail, chuchuka, maca, marine phytoplanktons, medicinal mushrooms like agaricus and chaga. Well, mushrooms include cordyceps, lion's mane, maitake, poria, reishi, shiitake, turkey tail, back to the end. Who doesn't love blood special seeds? Recunity, nettle, ostra, passion flower, para argo, coponemus, and coral bean flowers, rabanio, rhodiola, royal jelly, sea vegetables like kelp, cheese, elderberry, and chili, spineless, green water, tobacco, tea, vanilla, and zeolite drinks. There's dozens more to be discovered in the wild world of Arctic being. Let's keep trying them all and healing more and more as we fill up our pantry, fill with water to make enough water for us to bring the beauty out of these longevity drinks. Drinks, 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 drinks.